It's Christmas Eve, and I'm sick, if you can't hear it. What you probably can hear is the crunching of Cheetos, because all of my rats have their nighttime snack. This is my first clip for the new vlog thing, and it's some night of Hanukkah. I don't know what it is, but I have burned my menorah, and I'm dealing with the carnage at the moment. I believe there's 2 more days of Hanukkah, and it is Christmas Eve. So yeah, anyway, I'm checking in because I have decided that my next move is to start reading the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics. So that's what I'm up to. I have read the first one. Oh, I love being sick, by the way. I love my voice sounding weird and not being able to talk. But yeah, so I've read the first one, and it was actually pretty dope. So I'm hoping I'm going to continue enjoying them, because I always obviously I always knew about them. I didn't care too much because it seemed too silly for me, and it turns out not very silly in the way you'd think it is. So we're going to be diving into some Ninja Turtles, and that's going to be my personality for a little while. So bear with me and my weird messed up voice. But I'll check back in when I have read more Ninja Turtles. Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah. It's late and I have been cleaning, so I'm a mess, but want to let you know that this Ninja Turtles thing has blown up into something I was not anticipating. So I started out reading the original comics by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, and there's a lot of them, so I'm cutting them between other things. But I bounced over to the new-ish comics, the IDW run, which is basically a reboot of the series. It kind of like the same-ish origin. It's still like the ooze that turns them into mutant turtles, but it's done a little differently, and I'm in the middle of those also. And all I can say is I'm really enjoying them, but I would like to divert your attention to what I read tonight, which I just bought, which is The Last Ronin by the original creators of the Ninja Turtles. And I guess it's basically like an Elseworld story. It's, I think, technically going off, I'm assuming the original continuity because it's the original writers. The premise is it's the distant future, I guess not very distant, like 20, 30 years in the future, and there's only one turtle left. His brothers are dead. His father is dead. Casey is dead. Everyone's dead. So it is this turtle who is not named in the blurb. You have to read it to find out which one it is. And he has a mission to kind of avenge his family, and then he wants to die. And I don't want to spoil too much of it. But it is so sad, and it is so wonderful. It's very hard doing these kinds of updates with comic books because, they're very quick to read, so stopping in the middle of something that takes me like an hour is a little weird. But I did want to mention this because I really loved it. I don't know a ton about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I have 40 years of catching up to do, I suppose. But I know enough to have been deeply touched by this book. So if you're curious about the Ninja Turtles, I would say read the first volume of that IDW one. I think it has Raph on the cover. He's got the red what do you call it? Scarf? Bandana? Mask? I don't know. But I would read that one so you become familiarized with the dynamic and everything. And if you want to break it up with things, this is good once you're invested enough to care about him being all alone, wandering, trying to avenge his family. So yeah, they're actually all the comics are available for free on Comixology, that Amazon app, which is how I'm reading them, because I don't have the originals. I don't know how to get the color versions because they originally came out in black and white, and I don't want that. I'm a snob, I guess, with my comics. I don't really like the art style, so I need color to understand what's going on. But those are a little hard to get a hold of. The IDW ones are very expensive, so those are going to take me forever to get. I did buy the first one. I found it secondhand on eBay. I don't have it. If I did, I would be holding it up, which is why I was going to put off doing these clips, but whatever. So yeah, if you are interested in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I highly recommend starting with the IDW series. They're all in pretty matching books that will look gorgeous on your shelf, and it's easy to follow. It's very fun. It still has like good emotional moments. This last Ronin is so sad. It's very sad. So if you don't like that, maybe avoid it. But I'm going to continue in my Ninja Turtle journey, and I will keep you updated because this is my current obsession and I don't see it letting up, at least for another few weeks. So pray for Sarah, honestly. Think of her in all of this.
Hello, and welcome to a new vlog on the assumption that Kathy hasn't already introduced you. I don't think she has. We haven't actually talked about doing this vlog. I should probably do that. Anyway, it is new year, new reading goal, all that fun stuff. But I'm in the middle of Magic Breaks by Lola Andrews, a book that I am currently rereading. It's very long. The last time I read it, I gave it 1 star, so like, that doesn't bode well for me. But are you scared that I'm talking? And she's gone. But I've just started it. Magic Breaks is the 7th in the Kate Daniels series, I believe. And it's a pretty big one. I can't talk about it without spoilers, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll update you later. It's been a couple days since I last updated you guys. I'm still in the middle of Magic Breaks because it's been a busy couple days. And I think I mentioned this last time too, but it really bothers me. It really bothers me. And these like fantasy, urban fantasy, paranormal romances. There's a rat on the phone. My apologies. When like the woman is tortured and beaten, and then they're just like, my male partner has a much bigger score to settle because while I was in pain and beaten and tortured and bleeding and suffering, they didn't know if I was okay, and their emotional distress is much worse than my emotional distress and physical distress. No. I just don't like, oh my god. That's a special brand of misogyny that I hate. I'm getting kisses. Like, nobody's freaking business. Like, I don't know if... Not from her. From her. My kissy girl. Look at you. I have no idea how that's gonna look. Turning the camera basically sideways. But we'll see. So I finished Magic Breaks. I bumped it from 1 star to 3 stars. I think when I first did the 1 star review, would you see? There's a rat in my shirt. Anyway, when I first did the 1 star review, I was just really annoyed by the suggestion that Curran his emotional pain was more important than Kate's emotional and physical pain. But yeah, it's a solid 3 star. It's fine. Hi. I'm also currently in the middle of another reread. This is the end of a series that I'm currently rereading, so there's really no point in That was a rat pulling my phone down. I'm sorry. There's really no point in me talking too much about it, but I'm gonna be starting a cozy mystery later today, so hopefully tomorrow I'll have a little bit more to say. Hello. It's all chaos, y'all. All chaos all the time. She's trying to bite stuff again. Okay.
Wookie. Wookie. Oh my goodness. Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Do you mind watching?
Sure. She's adventuring.
Don't chew on Do you want to? Here you go next. Anyway, we would start talking. So I am not currently listening. Like, I am listening to something, but that's for a different video. I am reading Fatal Fried Rice, which is the 6th book, I think, in the Noodle Shop Mysteries. There's rats on the phone, in case you're wondering why it's shaking. Fife, don't lick the phone. Don't lick the phone. Anyway, so this is a cozy mystery about a restaurant manager named Lana Lee, who is, in this one, she's being accused of the murder for, the reasoning is really dumb, in my opinion. It does not make sense, but everyone acting like it makes perfect sense. But I can roll with it. It's a cozy mystery. It doesn't need to be very logical for me. It just needs to, you know, be decent. Or if you please don't chew on the phone. Anyway, I'm enjoying it pretty well so far. We're 6 books in, like, so it's at this point it's all like character work, establishing stuff like that, and I like it. So I'll update you when I'm done. It's been a couple of days since I last updated you, but I am still reading Fatal Fried Rice. I'm probably going to finish it today. I'm still enjoying it. It just has one of those plot lines that I'm not a huge fan of. I don't like rats. I love rats. No, the plot lines I don't like. What are you doing? What are you guys doing? The plot line I don't like is like when the main character is being framed for something, or oh my god, when the main character is being framed for something, or when they're being accused, like in this book in particular, she's being accused of the murder, and all the basis he has for the accusation is weak. It's so weak. It's that she's dating a cop, and that's it. Like, she found the body and she's dating a cop, so he's like, oh, she must have done it. Like, okay, buddy.
So I'm going to be 100% honest here. I have not been doing great reading wise. We've had a chaotic couple weeks. We had to move every single thing out of our rooms to get new carpet. I'm not sure if Sarah has informed you. It's very lovely carpet. I'm sitting on it right now. Was it worth the emotional distress? I cannot say. So I'm still working on my turtles. I have not made a ton of progress, admittedly, but I am a good portion in. I am just over half. That looks like only half, but I assure you it's just over half of book number 1 in the IDW collection of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is my favorite turtle, Raph on the cover. I love him. He can do no wrong. Yeah, so far it's absolutely wonderful. I know I've already said a bunch about it, but I've read a little more, and I just like the new takes on the origin. I don't know if it's spoilery or not, but in the original, Yoshi was the owner of Splinter, the rat who takes care of all of the Ninja Turtles, and Splinter learned his moves by watching him practice in his house, and that is not the origin here. Spoilers, the origin is that Yoshi and his 4 sons are, or I guess the Turtles and Splinter are the reincarnations of them because they were murdered by, I think, Shredder's ancestor, maybe? I don't know quite yet, but that's origin. I really like that. It's like so sad, and I love it. And Casey Jones just met April O'Neil, and that's adorable. Everything about this book is so delightful. I'm having a great time. I'm going to probably get the next
couple here soon because they're really big, so it's a lot to read. There's 14 of them. It's a whole entire thing, and I'm working my way through it slowly, but I haven't been able to sit and read because of, obviously, carpet stuff. Lots of things have happened. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I am reading a couple other things, though. So, I have just purchased and started 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. It is the 5th book in, I don't know what they call the series. It's the Truly Devious books. The first one, Truly Devious, came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago. It's this blue one on the back. You might know it. They're basically just murder mysteries. The first 3 actually are one arc. The main girl, Stevie, she is into like solving crimes and stuff. So she gets accepted to this special school for very gifted people. I think just people gifted in just any subject. It's a little weird, and the school is burdened kind of with this dark cloud of a tragedy that happened, I think, 100 years before, where the wife and the daughter of the person who opened the school went missing, and there was this reward offer. It's like anyone who can find them can, I think they get the school or they get a bunch of money, but it's just like if you find them, then you get this, and it's just this standing offer, even though I believe the man is long dead. The trilogy is about solving that particular mystery. And then the next book after that, the 4th book, The Box in the Woods, is a sort of standalone mystery with the same characters in it. Stevie is still the lead, and she is the lead in this one. So after the first 3, I believe, I don't know how many Maureen Johnson plans on doing, but all these ones after the main trilogy are standalone mysteries. And they're actually really fun. It's like some of the only young adult I still read and that can still keep me entertained. I think it's just, I'm not normally a murder mystery kind of person, but I very much enjoy these books, and I'm hoping she keeps doing them. I don't know if when the first trilogy wrapped up, she said she was going to do a 4th one. It was a surprise to me, and then this was a surprise too. Maybe I'm just not paying attention, but anyway, yeah. So this, I don't know the plot yet, but it takes place in current times in 1995. 9 friends from Cambridge University went to a country house and played a drunken game of hide and seek. 2 were found in the woodshed the next day, murdered with an axe. The case was assumed to be a burglary gone wrong, but one of the remaining 7 saw something she can't explain. Okay, so that actually sounds really good. I didn't know what the mystery was until I just spoiled that for myself. I've really just barely started it. I'm listening to the audio, and I'm going slow because I'm also going through a book I can't talk much about. It is the Ghost Hunters Adventure Club and the Express Train to Nowhere by, I guess by Dr. Cecil H. Mills, which is, not to spoil the fun, I believe Aaron Hansen of Game Grumps actually wrote this book. If he did not, then I don't know why he is pretending to be Dr. Cecil H. Mills. But I can't talk about really my feelings too much on this or the plot. It is just the other thing I'm reading. But I will say, I guess a little bit on my feelings. The first one is one of my favorite books, just of all time. I read it all the time. Every single time my Wi-Fi goes out, I put on the audiobook and I listen to it while I go to sleep. Oh, my book! No! I pretended to not drop my signed copy of this book carelessly on my new carpet. But anyway, yeah, so super comforting read, and this one has the same tone. It's silly, also not murder mystery. This one is on a train, obviously, and some stuff went missing. I don't know where the ghosts come in, because it's Ghost Hunters Adventure Club, and the only thing I'll say is, like, not enough ghosts for me, but that's a minor complaint. I'm hoping he keeps doing these, because I cannot describe how I feel with them, which is unfortunate for me, because spoilers, Sarah and I are going to do a video on this one and the first book, which is, oh my god, Ghost Hunters Adventures and the Secret of the Grand Chateau. You'd think I'd know because I've read it 10,000 times. But yeah, these are wonderful. If you like the Game Grumps and you like Aaron specifically and his humor, this is good. It's also young adult, so it's pretty clean. He doesn't curse really at all, and it's not like vulgar or anything. So I cannot talk about my specific feelings on that book. But those are what I'm reading, and I'm making really slow progress with all of them. The unfortunate thing is that I'm the farthest into Ghost Hunters Adventure Club. So that's, am I making it? I feel like I sound like I am very tired or very drunk. I am neither of those things. I'm just frazzled because the carpet thing really ruined my entire life. I don't know if you've ever moved 500 books and 200 comics out in boxes that were not good for that, but I wouldn't recommend it. Not on my worst enemy would I wish those few days. So I'm gonna try to read more of my turtles, because that is the only thing that brings me joy other than eating and holding my rat Wookie in my hand. And Wookie just finished her second Cheeto and she's taking a nap. So can I add that I just got into bed to read my turtle magazine, and I look over and I see Ducky, who is mad dogging me as if I didn't just give her a Cheeto as well, and also some puffs. Can I ask what I did wrong? Ducky? Oh, there's rumbling. Who was that? It's Dorothy. Oh, they're communicating. I gave both of them treats. Everyone got treats. They got treats too. Is that Grant up there? No, it's Spectre. That's Grant. Everyone got treats. So I don't know why we're having multiple hissy fits over here. I do have to fill that water up. I guess I'm gonna do that.
The point is, though, that all of these products are labeled as energy drinks first and foremost, both in their branding and in their label.
Okay, so I'm still trying to get back into the swing of this vlog thing. We took like a 2-month break or something, and I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to be doing this, so my apologies. I finished Not Again. It was fine. Did I even mention Not Again? I read Not Again by author name here. It was fine. It was a romance. Not a really well done one, to be perfectly honest. Hi, Foggy. Hi, Cloud. Hi, Sunny. It wasn't really well done. It's like it was a second chance romance, which should have been my first clue that I wasn't gonna like it, because I just don't in general like those, and I don't know, I just didn't like it. It was about a man who runs a knitting shop and is a firefighter, and a woman who, a divorced mother who runs a laundromat. It was fine. 3 stars. Anyway, I've moved on. Now I'm reading Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochran, who's the author of The Charm Offensive. Hey. I'm enjoying it pretty well so far. I'm very early in. So this is a romance about a woman who enters a marriage of convenience with a man and then falls in love with his sister. That's the general pitch. Anyway. Foggy. Please, Foggy. And it's good so far. Like, it has that one trope that I really hate, where the female author, she does webcomics and she's just doing her own life, and I don't like that trope because it's very commonly attributed to women but not men, and it's like annoying. But other than that, it's fine. I'm also reading, oh dear, Killer Kung Pao. It's one of the books in the Noodle Shop Mysteries, which apparently I read them out of order. I was supposed to read this one first before Fatal Fried Rice, which is the one I just read. But it's a cozy mystery. We're still following Lana Lee. This one feels more contrived than the others. It's by Vivian Chen, by the way, which doesn't really bother me necessarily, but it's not. I love this series, but there's been a couple of misses, and I feel like this is going to be one of the misses. So we'll see.
Despite the fact that I'm wearing the same shirt as before and I'm in the same spot, I promise you it is a different day. You don't have to believe me. I guess you just decide for yourself. But I finished my Ninja Turtle book, Volume 1 of the IDW run, which is the current one, I think, because they're still coming out with these. And as far as I've seen, these aren't just bind-ups, like a typical trade paperback or hardcover. I believe this is just how they are released. I don't know. I assume, though, they're also probably digitally released one single issue at a time. I haven't done the research. I don't know. Anyway, so I think maybe I was just stupid and it was obvious from the beginning that the turtles in Splinter were a reincarnation of Yoshi and his children. I mean, it wasn't like I was like blown away by the reveal or anything. I was just like, oh, is this what they're going for? And it turns out it was. And I'm assuming most people were just on the same page from the beginning, and I'm just a little bit slow. But yes, anyway, Splinter is fully aware of it, as it turns out. I should have said spoilers. Spoilers. Splinter is aware of his reincarnation. The boys kind of are not. Leo has... I'm just going to hold it. You can't even see it because my ankle is atrocious. But yeah, so Leo has kind of dreams and memories of his mother, and that's what makes him suspicious. And I think Raph has something similar. A couple of the boys are like suspicious of it. I don't think that it was confirmed for them within this. I might have missed it. But anyway, yeah, so Casey and April O'Neil meet, and they're pretty young in this. I think they're supposed to be teenagers. But April is the one who named the Ninja Turtles, and she was protecting them and Splinter when they were in the lab being experimented on, so they remember her. And Splinter remembers her. And spoilers again, they are met with Shredder, who is, if you don't know, I'm sure you do. I'm sure everyone knows all this Ninja Turtle stuff, but I don't because I didn't watch any of it or read any of the comics. So if I'm saying stuff that's like super obvious, I apologize. Like if I'm saying the equivalent of like Bruce Wayne is Batman and I'm embarrassing myself, like, comment, and subscribe. So anyway, yeah, April took care of them when they were in the lab, and Splinter at the end of this book is confronted with Shredder, who is again the big bad of the Ninja Turtles. In this incarnation, he is, I don't know if he is a reincarnation of, I think he might be, or he's just the continuation. I'm saying this really bad. I'm tired. I'm sorry. He's the guy who killed Yoshi and his kids and Yoshi's wife, which is similar to the original one. If you don't know, Yoshi was killed by Shredder. Wait, no. Yeah, okay. I cannot believe how messy this is. I'm so sorry. In the original one, it was Shredder's brother who wanted to marry Yoshi's girl. And when she said no, he eventually killed her, and then Yoshi eventually killed him, and then Shredder has like a vendetta, I believe. I'm currently reading those. I have a terrible memory though. I feel like I'm rambling. Good content. Anyway, yeah, so the boys have history. So there's a fight between Shredder and Splinter is an old rat man, so it doesn't go great for him. He gets pretty wounded in the end. April's taking care of him, and he's like touched by how worried she is, and it's very sweet. And if you like good character stuff, I highly suggest this run. I haven't read a ton of the Turtles, but I would say this is a really good jumping off point, because I started with the originals, and I've read a lot of those, and I bought the Batman versus Ninja Turtles, and those are supposedly going to arrive in the mailbox tomorrow or the day after, so I'll include those in probably the next vlog. But yeah, I just wanted to say I finished this run, and I have bought volume 2. It is also getting here tomorrow, and I'm going to try and read it as fast as I can, because I want to know if I'm going to be buying the rest of these. They're a bit of an undertaking. They are about $40 a piece, so we'll see.
All right, so I finished Kiss Her Once For Me by Alison Cochrane, which is the romance I was reading. Your rat's about to shake this phone. Hi, bug. Hey, little bug. Hey, little bug. Hey, tiny bug. Got another rat right here. I liked it pretty well. Like, I ended up giving it 4 stars because it feels like more of a 3.5, because 3 feels too low, 4 feels too high, and I always round up when I give half stars. Hi, baby. Bye. Anyway, I liked that the main character was demisexual. I liked that the main character was demisexual. I liked the dynamic between her and the love interest. It just didn't quite hit for me in the way that I thought it would. It has the same kind of tone as One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. So if you like that book, you might like this one as well. Okay. The rat turned off the recording, so here we go. Don't do it a second time, madam. So yeah, it's like a slightly melancholy tone with like deeper subject matter than a lot of romances have, and it's also okay. Sorry, I had to save myself from Firefly. That's also sapphic romance. So yeah, if you like this one, I would check out One Last Stop. If you like One Last Stop, I would check out This One's For Me. So yeah, I'm going to be moving on to, I think, another romance. I think it's the next Olivia Dade. So I'll update you when I update you.
It's a slightly different position, and you can see a little bit of my garbage can in the peripheral, which is exactly what I'm going for. So anyway, bad news, everyone. I failed to finish 9 Liars. Here's what happened. This sucks, and I will explain myself. So I was reading it, and I was not interested, which is weird because typically these books draw me in very fast. So I was like, why don't I care very much? And the mystery was kind of boring me, despite the fact that you get to see like a bunch of flashbacks of it, which should have got me. The problem was that the mystery was taking a backseat to the interpersonal stuff, and I don't care about the characters. I don't know if that's controversial or not, actually, but so I don't really care about any of them. In YA books, I typically don't care about the side characters at all, because they're just YA tropes most of the time. And Stevie I like the most. It's probably only because she's, oh, you can see the rest of me. It's probably only because she's the main character. I don't think she's especially interesting. She's a good catalyst or whatever for the plot, though, so she serves her purpose. And there's a romance thrown in here with the most boring guy in the world, and I don't care about him. And most of this book is about that stupid romance, so I was just like, uh-oh. And I looked up some Goodreads reviews. My worst fears were confirmed, so spoilers ahead if you... Wookie is getting yelled at. Okay. Not spoilers for the plot, spoilers for, I guess, sort of the plot. But... So Stevie wants to have sex with her boyfriend in this. And there's so much of it that's about her trying to do that, because that's what our attention should be on in a mystery. And obviously, I've said this a million times, I don't care about sex stuff in books. I just think it's really dumb. The whole thing is like making a big deal out of it, and I'm just like exhausted with it. I'm too old to be sitting here reading about like a 17-year-old fretting about losing her virginity. Because it's just like, I want to go in and tell her, hey, kid, you're not going to care about this in 10 years. You're not going to be freaking out over shaving your legs or wearing something cute. That's what kids do. And you're a kid, so I can see why you're fretting. But it's exhausting. Now I'm going to jump to another clip, and the camera's not going to be in the same position. And I'm going to need you to pretend that it is, because I'm going to pretend. So, oh, look, I managed to not knock over the phone. Anyway, so I quit reading this like 100 pages in because I was so bored. And I looked, and everyone says it's really frustrating because it's so much focus on them, and like David's a really boring character, and I will spoil a little bit. I went and I looked at the last page. Spoilers for the very last page. So if you don't want to know, really. So they broke up at the end for dumb reasons, because this has a trope of like, oh, he's in another country and the girlfriend comes to visit. And, oh, he's got a friend that's a girl? Surely he has feelings for her. It's got that whole thing. And the subversion of, no, really, she was nice. And so Stevie and David break up. He breaks up with her for whatever reason. And the very last thing you see in the whole book is like the next day after the breakup, Stevie sees him in a restaurant. And he's kissing some other girl. And it's like, is it time for me to put young adult away? Because if this is the kind of stuff we're doing now, I'm too exhausted. If I'm being perfectly honest. Like, I'm reading another romance right now, which I'll talk about. Actually, in the next vlog, so you won't hear me talk about it in this one. Although the position will be eerily similar to the camera. I can't imagine why. Yeah, so I'm reading other romances. Like, what I want is adult turmoil, not the turmoil of children, because I'm about to turn 30. So I'm just too old for this thing of miscommunication, not just being perfectly honest. Because, I don't know, in real life, you just tell someone how you feel and it saves you like a whole lot of heartbreak. And that's what I want to tell all these kids. And I can't, because they're not real. Okay. Final thing for my reading week or 2 week, whatever this ends up being. I don't actually know. Sarah is the king of that. But I did not say I was going to read it, but I did read it. I read Batman Catwoman by Tom King, who I have a complicated relationship with. If you don't know what this is Black Label. When you see Black Label, it is non-canon, which means that it is not officially part of the continuity. Tom King did the Rebirth run of Batman, and this is kind of like a what-if epilogue. They let Scott Snyder do that too when he was finished with his run of the New 52. His is called I think it's The Last Night on Earth, Night with a K. It's a really fun, weird little story, and he said that it's what he would have done if he got to just end Batman. This is not, well, I guess it is sort of, okay, yes, a full spoiler for this, by the way. I'm gonna spoil the whole thing. It picks up, there's 3 separate timelines in this, which is exactly as confusing as you might think it is, and I was lost several points, but it is Batman and Catwoman very early on. It is them in their marriage, and it is her after Bruce has died, when they're old. So in the Rebirth run, the official canon run, the not Black Label, they broke up. Bruce and Selina did not get married, unfortunately, which I thought was kind of lame, but I get it, whatever. And this takes place after the Rebirth run, where they get back together and they do get married. You can tell because she's in a really pretty wedding dress. And yeah, so it's them dealing with her doing bad things and the consequences of that and how it affects their relationship. Pretty much, there's some cool stuff in this. I won't spoil everything if it's not needed, but there's something that she really wanted to do and Bruce would not let her. So when Bruce died, the very first thing she went to go do was that thing. And it's kind of neat. I think a lot of people actually disliked this. Tom King has a thing where he does like really unrealistic dialogue. It's very, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like full of itself a little bit. It's very beautiful, but no person talks like this. So if you want like kind of cheese ball, this is a good writer for that. But yeah, so you can count on this being filled with Tom King's heady dialogue and people who don't sound like people, but there's good stuff. It's touching. It's just very cheesy. Like, you don't come up with this kind of stuff on the fly to say to your fiance. You come up with it in a dingy office writing comic books at 3 a.m. And that's fine. I don't need everything to be realistic. I like things to be fun. So this is a gorgeous edition, by the way. If you are looking for this book, this is the special edition. I don't know if direct market is for when, this is because I bought it in a comic book store, basically. If you buy stuff in comic book stores, the incentive is you get special covers. And this is my beautiful cover. This is the cover that it actually looks like when you buy it, like on Amazon or whatever. So if you want this look, any comic book shop will have this. But I really enjoyed this despite the cheese of it. And I hate the very last thing in this, which I will fully spoil. They have like the initial story and it ends, and then it's like more stories from this alternate world where Bruce and Selina get married, and Bruce dies in the main one of cancer when he's old because he fought some radiation guy when he was younger, so he developed cancer later. So Bruce is dead. But then they kill Selina at the very end. She dies in an alley getting mugged, which I kind of thought was like in really poor taste. I feel like Tom King thought it was some kind of full circle thing, and it was actually, it sucked that she died in an alley alone. It obviously mirroring Bruce's parents dying in an alley getting mugged. I didn't think that was poetic or anything, and I feel like it was meant to be. and it actually just really bummed me out. I don't like that as the ending, but I guess it doesn't matter because it's not canon. But Black Label is really good for some fun Elseworldsy kind of stuff. I guess they don't really do Elseworlds anymore. It is just, are you good? It is just called Black Label. So, you know, look out for that. Typically, they are magazine format, which means they're really hard to put on your shelf. So if you're down with that, then I think you should indulge. But anyway, that is my last thing for this particular vlog. I read some good stuff, and I tried to read stuff, and it ended up sucking. So it goes. What are we doing?
We are ending out the vlog.
Oh, hi. I already did my ending clip, so I don't know what the heck I'm supposed to be saying, but yeah, that was it. That's what we did. The house is a little bit chaos right now.
Just a wee bit.
Has COVID, and no one else does, so we're not doing great right now. But this is the end of the vlog, and we read some things. And good news, I mentioned it in the vlog you haven't seen yet because this is before that. But the thing that I was hesitant on, I'm doing, so I'm going to mention that later. You must be so confused watching this, and that's not really my problem. So thank you, and please hit the like button and do the stuff where you help our algorithm. I'll see you next week. Ahoy. I mean, bon voyage.
Goodbye.